But we, of course, begin with the major winter storm impacting more than 200 million Americans this weekend. A lot of you watching right now, a massive stretch of ice and snow will reach 2,300 miles from New Mexico all the way to New England. More than half of everyone living in the United States is under some form of winter weather advisory. And after the snowfall and the ice, millions can accept a sharp drop in temperatures. In at least 11 southern states, the majority of homes are heated by electricity, raising the possibility of dangerously cold conditions in the face of widespread power outages.
We have a team of correspondents fanned out across the country reporting on where the storm is hitting right now, where it's going, where it's been, and the travel headache it is sure to bring in the days to come. 17 states and Washington, D.C. have declared states of emergency, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem issued a statement urging Americans to prepare for the storm and stay off the roads. Omar Villafranca is in Dallas, where 1 to 2 inches of sleet could accumulate by the end of the day. Omar, good morning.
Well, good morning. We've seen pockets of snow, and it seems like right now on cue we're getting a little bit of freezing rain. And the temperatures have finally dipped below freezing here in North Texas. That means all the rain that we got, and especially the stuff on the road, that's eventually going to turn into ice. And as this storm blows through, we're expecting to get a few days of freezing temperatures.
The snow machine cranking up in the plains. What promises to be a days-long nationwide winter storm is just starting. Forecasters warn the damage from sleet and snow and areas hit by ice could rival a hurricane. Governors from Oklahoma.
It's up to us as citizens also to prepare for the worst.
To Maryland.
A storm of this magnitude is one that needs to be taken very, very seriously.
Preparing their residents for one of the largest winter weather events in recent memory. After barreling through the south today, the storm is churning towards the East Coast. In New York City, salt spreaders began loading up before the storm arrives.
While we cannot control how much snow will actually fall this weekend, we can control how we prepare for and respond to this storm.
But there's concern over salt shortages elsewhere.
The problem that we are seeing, as well as other cities in the Northeast, is that the southern cities who usually don't get hit with salt are purchasing more and more salt over the last few days.
In Texas, residents worry about a repeat of a deadly ice storm in 2021 that overwhelmed the state's power grid, leaving millions of people in the dark and cold.
The ERCOT grid has never been stronger, never been more prepared, and is fully capable of handling this winter storm.
Following right behind the snow and ice, frigid cold temperatures. It was already below zero in Chicago and parts of the upper Midwest.
It's brutal out there. It's so cold it hurts. It hurts. It's painful.
And shoppers worried about frozen roads and power outages lined up to clear out grocery store shelves.
I was completely calm until this morning when I started getting text messages that the food stores were insane. And I'm like, whoa, I got to go there. I got to get my food. So now I feel a little bit better that I've overspent.
The freezing temperatures are here. As I mentioned, we're getting a little bit more rain. Now, we're taking the temperature of the concrete here. It's about 14 degrees. Of course, that's going to play havoc on the roads, but crews have been treating them all weekend. They say that hopefully they did a good job, but if you want to avoid any problems, they're saying just stay off the road. And Adriana, I don't know how you did it. You're like Elsa. The second you started talking, we started getting these little freezing pellets.
Thank you. I just let it go, Omar. Let it go. All right, let's bring it back to Rob Marciano for the forecast. Rob, good morning.
Hey, yeah, good morning, Adriana. The cold, it wreaks havoc on our equipment as well. Kill a battery, as you know, if you have a cell phone in the cold in a minute. All right, here we go, right? The cold air is sinking in. You saw it going to Dallas. Everything's changing over in spots, and we have about half the country, and I can't remember the last time I've seen something like this. Half the country, the population, under winter storm warnings or ice storm warnings right now. So this is going to be a mess today for sure. Where you see that dark purple, that's where the ice storm warnings are, and that's where we'll see likely the amount of accumulation on trees and power lines that will take down those trees and power lines, and we'll probably see hundreds of thousands of people, if not over 1 million people, without power by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. So that is what we're worried about there. Obviously, snow accumulations with this thing. Tremendous amount of moisture coming off the Gulf of Mexico, meeting that cold air, and that's not a good combination. So up to 18 inches of snow in some of these spots from North Texas, slicing through Oklahoma, in through parts of St. Louis, and then up the Ohio River Valley, and then into the Northeast. By Monday morning, I would suspect that most schools will be closed and most folks will be taking a snow day. So here you go. Look at this moisture field. That precip field is really huge. That shield goes all the way up to Canada, drops all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, and obviously the pink in the middle there, that's that wintry mix, either freezing rain or sleet accumulation. That is the worst type, so travel pretty much is a no-go there. And then there you see the darker purples. That's where the heaviest thumping of snow is going to come, likely tomorrow night into Monday morning, and then the cold air comes down even worse than that. So that's where this is the striking stuff. The cold advisories and the cold weather warnings all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, and this will stick around, guys, for a good week in a lot of spots. So it's not like it's going to warm up and everything's going to melt. We're in this for the long haul, unfortunately. Back to you.
Rob, I'm hoping for the kids to get a snow day on Monday rather than a remote school day.
No. I need to go to school.
We'll take it from someone who actually has kids versus me. Rob, thank you so much. All right, well, Oklahoma is one of 9 states to activate its National Guard. Nearly 4 inches of snow has already fallen in parts of the plains, and that includes Oklahoma City, where the snow began coming down late last night. Jason Allen is there for us right now. Jason, good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. Yeah, from a very snowy, very cold, very blustery Oklahoma City. It is not snowing right now. We're kind of in a lull. So any snow you see in our shot is just from the wind that's whipping through the downtown area. If you look across downtown here, you can see, as you mentioned, this is probably 3, maybe 4 inches of snow as we look at some reports across the area. They do have plows here, the city here, with 34 of them. And as you look down the street, you can see they have been out this morning, another 40 plus that are out in the area. Now, this storm, as Rob was just telling us, came in very, very cold here in Oklahoma. So we did not get the ice here that they thought might happen. That's a good thing. It'll make a lot of this snow easier to clear. And this wind that is blustery will also help them clear this away. But this all just the beginning. The next round developing out to the south, that could be a lot heavier, Adriana, once it starts to roll in later today.
Oh, boy. Jason Allen, thank you so much. The winter storm is already disrupting travel nationwide. So far this morning, more than 3,500 flights in and out of the United States have been canceled, and more than 500 have been delayed. CBS News senior transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve has more on what could become a travel nightmare.
Good morning. This storm is going to be a major challenge for travelers both on the ground and in the air this weekend and potentially into next week. It is going to target several major cities that are home to major airline hubs, and it's going to hit them one after another after another. That means significant cancellations, potentially bringing travel to a virtual halt at times. This will be a major test for the airlines. At DFW Airport, Tom Tierney showed up Friday, hoping to beat the massive winter storm poised to blanket the Dallas area with ice.
Try to be here early enough that I could get out and on my way to Santa Fe. And obviously did not make that.
I could have sworn I should be getting more.
A few miles away, it's an around-the-clock effort inside Southwest Airlines' brand-new Network Operations Center. Teams from across the airline are aiming to stay 24 hours ahead of the weather.
If we believe that there's going to be disruption, let's keep people from even getting into the airports and entering into a situation that then they can't get out of.
Southwest's Emily Estapa is tracking the storm.
So now what we have to start looking at is, well, what are we going to do with the network as a whole? We have to take into consideration not only our passengers, but our crews, our folks that are out at the station.
Friday brought hundreds of flight cancellations in Dallas, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Memphis, and Nashville. But that will grow to thousands Saturday as the storm takes aim at some of the country's biggest airports. At the world's busiest airport in Atlanta, the winter storm team will start treating runways and taxiways today ahead of the storm.
Well, things may be slower, but we think we will still be able to maintain our operations. They will just be at a slower pace.
Once the storm passes, a huge swath of the country is going to be dealing with absolutely frigid temperatures. That can bring about its own challenges and travel disruptions. All of the nation's airlines have travel waivers up, allowing people to make changes without additional costs to avoid the storm. For CBS Saturday Morning, I'm Chris Van Cleve in Phoenix.
From the air to the ground, let's take a look at this map again. More than 20 million Americans are under ice storm warnings, most of them in the South, where weather events like these are rare. So Nicole Valdez is in Nashville this morning with a look at how the Music City and others are preparing to keep roadways safe. Nicole, good morning.
Kelly, good morning. Yeah, the last few days here have been crucial to get ready for what this winter storm could bring. And it's not just Nashville. The entire state of Tennessee is expected to get hit next. Already, temperatures have dropped into the teens. Now, the governor here preemptively declared a state of emergency, knowing that these storms have a much different impact in really cities across the South that have far less resources, less snow plows, and less experience with snow and ice.
As temperatures outside drop, the work inside this building is more important than ever.
Expected timing, this may change.
We joined Tennessee emergency officials inside the pit, the beating heart of the state's emergency management agency, gearing up for what officials warn could be a crippling winter storm.
Why is the work that you do in this room so important?
It's the unity of effort. It's uncovering problems as quickly as possible. The faster we can detect those problems, the faster we can coordinate a response to them.
His agencies brought in extra staff to work 12-hour shifts and track every emergency call, so they know where the problems are and how to respond as conditions change.
My biggest concern is the cascading effects. When you have that extreme cold following power outages, there's the vulnerable populations and the impacts that creates is the concern.
So you guys feel like you're as ready as you can be?
Ready? I feel more, yeah, absolutely. This is the most prepared I've ever felt for it.
Plow truck drivers like Justin Pierce have spent all week pre-treating roads with brine, hoping to keep ice from sticking.
It still seems like there is a very likely scenario that these roads become impossible to drive on. Is that a fair assessment?
It's a fair assessment. We try to focus on our primary routes, which are for our emergency services.
To get help to those who need it, using every resource and tool available to prepare and prevent the worst.
If it gets out ahead of us and it becomes snowpack, solid sheets of ice, we get down into single digits, not a lot you can do. Do not drive. We ask that unless you absolutely have to be out on the street, stay home, stay safe.
Now, once it's all said and done, here in Music City, we could see up to 6 inches of snowfall coupled with maybe a half an inch of ice. That is going to be the problem because meteorologists say we're then looking at days of really potentially sub-zero temperatures. So anything that falls and freezes could stick around for several days. Kelly.
Oh, Nicole, try and stay warm out there.